And I'm genuinely delighted to start with the President of the British Chambers of Commerce, Baroness Ruby McGregor-Smith, CBE. Very good of you to find time for us this afternoon. First things first, you're a businesswoman of years of experience as well as the President of the Chamber. What is your personal take on the scale of the problem your sector faces?
The scale of the problem today is as big as it was during COVID. And I am deeply concerned about the lack of a plan for business to get us through what is going to be the worst winter any of us can remember.
And the SME sector, to be crystal clear, I mean, you used to run a big PLC, you know how the whole of British industry works, but with the SME sector particularly, they have less deep pockets, they have fewer reserves. The timescale could be really quite tight.
The timescale's a real challenge. We found during COVID that most businesses in the UK who are very, very small have less than 3 months of cash flow. Now, if you take a look at the costs coming through on energy hikes between now and March, it will put many of them out of business. So many are talking about closing their doors already. Most are saying it is their biggest cost pressure. They have no choice but to ask for more support. And we don't want more support normally. Business wants to be able to go off and grow and invest and be brilliant. But with this level of cost pressure, it's absolutely impossible to do.
You're not a woman who makes idle threats and comes on telly just to blurt out gloomy predictions. What scale of closures are you talking about? What proportion of your sector could go to the wall this winter or early spring?
When we've been talking to many of our members across many sectors, many are affected. We already know, and other business groups have talked about pubs alone, where 2/3 could close. But you could see any organisation with incredibly high energy bills having to close for at least part or all of winter just to be able to cope with the cost pressures coming through. Now, we mustn't forget that they've already been through COVID. Many already have COVID loans. They didn't all get the support that everyone would have hoped they'd have got. They've also got to deal with the horrendous cost of inflation right now, which is running at double digits, and that is going to continue. With those pressures, we will see many be forced to close without support.
The Hamlet without the prince will be resolved on Monday. Is the offer coming from either Rishi Sunak, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, or Liz Truss, the current Foreign Secretary and favourite to win? Are either of those packages filling you with more hope or less hope?
There's a lot of discussion, there's a lot of talk, but I haven't seen a plan. We need a plan of action. We need to know by Tuesday evening how much money is going to be available to SMEs to help them through this winter period. I don't think we can have any more rhetoric, any more chat, any more, look, we know it's really difficult and businesses need to cope. We need to know what the plan of action is now, and not just for the short term, because while all this goes on as well, we've got to focus really heavily for business as to how we, the UK, have energy independence over the coming years, and what investments are really going to be made to ensure that can happen as well. Because as much as we want short-term support, we need to know that there's going to be a long-term answer to this.
You're a Tory. You take the Tory whip in the House of Lords, and Tories, as I understand it, having been around a wee while, don't like big borrowing, don't instinctively like bailouts. Are you looking at a set of circumstances now that are so worrying and so different that all of that goes to the wall? What Liz Truss talks about, rejecting the Treasury orthodoxy, you got to take a deep breath and do stuff that might sound a bit more like your opposition.
We are going to have no choice. This is the scale of challenge of costs is as much as COVID for many SMEs. So I don't see how normal Treasury orthodox policies work in this environment. And I don't want to be asking for this. I want us all to be able to go back to normality as we knew it pre-pandemic, but none of us have the joy of that. So absolutely, we need additional measures to be taken now.
Final point, again, just repeating the fact that you are a Conservative Party member and you take the whip in the House of Lords. So you're in there, you talk to these people day in, day out. Do you have a sense that that level of concern that you've just articulated is grasped either by Sunak or Truss or Kwasi Kwarteng or any of the leading lights who are likely to be in government come Monday, Tuesday?
They are all completely aware of the scale of the challenge, and that's why we expect to see a plan early next week.
You said Monday evening. That's 12 hours after whoever is the winner. I like that. A woman who knows what she wants and knows exactly when she wants it.